Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling. Hello and welcome to the next episode of Matt and Todd Go to the Movies, the podcast where Matt and Todd go see a movie at our local Regal cinema. And then we talk about it and discuss, did we like it, did we not like it, should you see it, should you not see it, should you see it in theater, should you save it for streaming? We hope to answer a lot of these questions and help guide you on this movie trail life you're on. I am Todd Domer.
And I'm Matt Malloy, and yes, welcome to another episode of our podcast. And we saw a movie tonight, and it was called Belfast.
Belfast.
Academy Award nominated movie for Best Picture. So we're going to get into that, I'm sure, and talk about whether it's even worthy of that. Or might it win?
Yeah.
It might. You never know.
You never know with the crazy Academy Awards.
The Academy, the Oscars, always a wild card.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so yes, this movie is about a family living in the town of Belfast in the very late 1960s, 1969, I believe.
You'd be correct.
And that is where Todd's intro music comes in, the classic Irish tune.
It's even referenced in the movie.
It is.
Not played, just
not
referenced.
Not played, but referenced, yes. So, yeah. So who's in this movie? Well, Judi Dench is in this movie.
Dame Judi Dench.
She's in it.
She's not playing a cat, so that's
got that going for her.
That's good, which I think is probably maybe the last movie in theaters I saw with Judi Dench.
Yeah. So she's in it. What's his name? Jimmy Dornan?
Yeah, Jamie Dornan.
Jamie
or something,
Dornan. I think he's
old 50 Shades of Grey guy.
Yeah, he's in it. And Caitriona stuff.
No idea.
Yeah, she played the mom.
Yes, I mean I figured that's what you were talking about.
She stars in the series called Outlander.
Oh, are you watching Outlander?
I'm not currently watching Outlander.
Oh, but you did.
I've just heard about it.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're gonna.
Maybe. I don't know. Have you watched it?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's why I sound so judgy about it, because I have nothing to base my opinion off of, so I just come in strong.
Sounds good. I don't think there's anyone else famous, is there?
The grandfather's been in a whole bunch of stuff, and we'll do a deep dive for Todd of where I recognize him from.
All right.
Which he played either Satan or a demon. I can't remember what it specifically was in Ghost Rider 2.
Oh,
with Nicolas Cage.
Very good. Well, and he tops it off with this performance as grandfather.
Pop, if you will.
Pop. Yep. Cool. Well, I think that's it for any kind of famous people. Yeah. So what's this movie about? The movie is about a family, a Protestant family living in a Protestant area of Belfast in a time where there's great conflict between Protestants and Catholics in that ation. That may be a familiar concept to our listeners. So it just kind of follows the family during this tumultuous time, and they have various decisions that they have to make about what they stand for and where they're going to be, and how they're going to kind of exist in this world that's changing, I guess, is the theme. So a lot of it follows this young boy. There's two boys in the family, and follows the youngest boy, who I'm going to say he's like around 10.
I would agree with that, yeah.
So you kind of get things from his perspective a lot, although you hear plenty of conversations. Actually, most of the conversations that you hear you see because this little kid is eavesdropping on whatever
Yes.
is going on. So it really is. He's really kind of the camera goes with him pretty regularly in this movie. So yeah, the movie starts out with some neighborhood shots. Everybody's happy, and then basically a riot breaks out, and
Here come the Catholics.
yeah. Well, the Protestants were the ones who were coming in, right?
No, because they are Protestant, right?
Right,
And then
but they
Catholics were
weren't
coming
being
in.
attacked. The Catholics were being
Oh,
marked
yeah,
out.
you're right. Yeah.
So, so they weren't a member of the minority group, the Catholics there, but there was a lot of turmoil and violence. So basically, the dad's working away in England, for a couple weeks at a time, and comes home on the weekends. And there's some little bit of conflict between the husband and the wife about some debts, and then there's opportunities to move to England and things like that. And that's kind of the adult part of it. And then the kid part is the kid's in math class and has a crush on a girl, and loves his grandparents and sees his grandparents a lot, and
Yeah. Loves the movies. Loves
yeah.
to go to the cinema.
Right. There is a nice reference, not just a reference. There is a little slice of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, a movie that everyone should love.
Yes.
And
what was it Barbarella? What was the
I don't know,
what was the one with the women?
with Raquel Welch.
Raquel Welch.
I don't know.
I don't know. Some super
It was
old
like
movie that
some kind of cave
and dinosaurs.
women.
Yeah, it was like
Anyway, so
I know nothing about Barbarella, but for some reason that's what came out.
You just thought that was it.
Yeah. Well, because it's the poster that Andy Dufresne has in his cell
Okay.
when he's tunneling his way out of prison in
Yeah.
Shawshank.
In my favorite movie,
Yeah.
Shawshank Redemption.
The
Great. So, anyway, the movie just kind of follows their life, and you see different kind of ideas about life and change and what's going to happen. And eventually, by the end of the movie, they have to figure out if they're going to stay or they're going to go. They're going to leave the place they know or go somewhere else to try and start something new. So,
Sure.
that's where I'll leave it. And I'll say, Todd, what are your feelings on Belfast?
I will share these feelings, but I think we also, you and I, when we wrap up our feelings at the end of our rant, should say whether or not we think it could win or should it have been nominated in the first place.
Fair enough.
All right. So I did like this movie. It typically I don't. I mean, I have a weird thing about when we make movies black and white, just because I guess, like, I don't know. It typically doesn't sit well with me, but I thought this one was really pretty good. I think it's got. It's a very interesting story because you have this like kind of civil war going on between Catholics and Protestants, and while you do see a lot of it, it's almost like the story's told through the younger son's eyes. Like, you're never getting the whole picture of anything. You're only getting what he views and what almost his thoughts are. You get a little bit of it from the dad as they try to navigate these murky waters. But, I mean, it really is, you're looking at these situations of, you know, there's no work in Belfast, so a lot of men have to, like, you know, travel for work and stay out there for the week, and then they come home on the weekends and stuff like that. There's the Civil War going on. There's, you know, kind of uneasiness between the mom and the dad, and it's all, and then, you know, like, there's the grandparents and the grandfather's kind of sick, and like, you get all this kind of storytelling through the younger son's eyes, and I thought that was really interesting. Like, I'm not sure if I loved it, but I certainly didn't think it was bad. At times, I felt like I wanted more to the story. Like, there's a main bad kind of Protestant who keeps having these run-ins with the dad. Or is he a Catholic? I don't know. I can't
He's
remember.
a Protestant.
Okay, all right. So he keeps having run-ins with the dad, and they have a history. Like they really allude to this history that maybe they both used to be gangsters together or something. And it's never fully dived into because the son walks away from the situation. So then you follow the boy to his next scene or whatever, and you don't get too much of the backstory to that. But that's why I kind of feel like the simplistic nature of these heavy storytelling mechanisms through the eyes of a kid was very interesting. But at times in the movie, I felt like it just basically like it was an appetizer, and I was ready for the main course, and the main course never came. So, and it's not to say that was bad. It's going to be kind of a minus for me. But I thought they did really well with what they were trying to do, of tell this incredibly heavy story through the eyes of a 10-year-old. And his not even, at times trying to grasp the situation, and he can't. Like, at times trying to understand what the adults are talking about, and he just can't understand it. He doesn't understand what's going on. So I thought the acting was very well done. I mean, I don't know who in this movie is actually, has thick accents or not, but it seems like everyone came with their thick accent pretty hardcore. Mm-hmm. So if you're doing a movie about, Belfast, and I can't understand what you're saying half the time, I think you're doing a good job.
Right.
Which is weird to say because you want to understand what everyone's saying, but I'm like, you're really into it.
Yeah.
So, I thought even though the script got me kind of really involved but wanting more, I thought it was good. I thought the acting was really good. I do think the kid did really well because, I mean, he dominates the screen time. And honestly, I mean, he's probably really like 12 or 13.
Yeah.
But, that's a lot of work and a lot of faith in a 12, 13-year-old or whatever, how old he is to kind of carry a movie. And I thought he did pretty well. So, I think good on him, whoever his name is that we're not going to look up.
It's Jude something.
Oh, good job,
Jude Hill? Jude Hill, I think.
So, I mean, it's not, it's got serious nature to it, but it's not the heaviest movie because of the storytelling mechanism they use. And it's a shorter movie. Well, how long did you say it was?
99 minutes.
Yeah. So, when we got to the end, I wasn't feeling like, oh, good, because this is dragging on. Like, I felt like I was in it every step of the way. But I still wanted more at times when things got really serious. And I say that because, like, it kind of, at times where it captivated me and I was learning more information and I was like, oh, man, I want to understand more about this. Or I want to learn more about this. It kind of didn't deliver on those points. But I mean, overall, I liked it. I think, honestly, my theater experience tonight is probably minusing some from the movie. Like, I'm a bit tired, and we're seeing a later movie than we're used to. But, I think anyone who has the capability still should see this in the theaters. Why not? Like, it's certainly not a waste of your time, in my opinion. But that might be hard because I don't know how long it's going to be in theaters. We really caught it on the tail end. I mean, they re-released it because of...
They re-released it because it was nominated for Best Picture.
Okay.
So,
but I can't imagine that's going to last long.
Yeah, I don't know.
Really? Okay. It did make me think, wow, there's people in this theater. So that must mean they were like, oh, we should see this because we never got to, and it's
right.
It's nominated. So, back to the big question here about nomination and stuff like that. Do I think this movie deserved to be nominated? That's a hard one because I feel like this was nominated more for its... I mean, I guess it could have been nominated because it is kind of like it's a strong story, even though I felt like I wanted more. It is kind of artsy, like, everything's in black and white besides certain things. They go to the cinema, and the cinema's in color, and they go see a play, and the play's in color. And I mean, I think that probably really makes the people at the Academy who vote for these movies go, "Oh, that's so good," and "Oh, that's great," and "Oh, I'm gonna," like whatever. But I'm not that kind of person. I just think it's kind of dumb, honestly.
Yeah.
But that's my unsophisticated mind of movie. I mean, it's probably really hard to do that. I have no idea. So I'm gonna land on the side of I don't think this movie deserves to be nominated, and I'll say it's not because it's that bad or anything. It's because I can think of other movies that are better and weren't nominated. Is kind of where I'm landing.
Name one.
Encanto.
Okay.
I'll
Name another
two.
one.
Spider-Man: Far From Home, which we've already talked about.
Those are the two that I would name as well.
Yeah. So we were texting about this, that Encanto is nominated for Best Animated Picture.
Right.
But I think that's a cop-out. I think it's one of the best movies of the year.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't need to be in a subdivision.
They could have put it in both.
Yeah, honestly.
There's one of these movies, Flea, is in 3 different categories.
Yeah. So, but that's the thing about the Academy Awards. Like, it's so artsy-fartsy, and it's frustrating. But then when I really think about it, it is very straightforward what it is. It is the Academy Awards that they are giving out. So only the Academy's opinions matter.
Right.
So you can't get too mad at it, I guess.
Yeah.
So, yes, I don't think it was deserved to be nominated. Do I think this might win? Yes, because of everything I said about the artsy-fartsy Academy.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like a movie right up their alley. So, Matt, how'd you feel?
Well, I did like the idea of the complex world viewed through the eyes of a little kid. I thought that was a good concept, and that was one of the best things about this movie. Mm-hmm. I thought the acting was excellent, kind of across the board. I mean, you get Judi Dench involved, you get the mom, who I'm going to try her name again, Caitriona Balfe or Balfe. Could be either one. I'm not sure.
If she's listening, you owe her $5 if you messed it up.
Correct, I do, and I'll be happy to pay that up. But her performance, I thought, as a mom whose partner was not there with her, trying to raise 2 kids in the turmoil of Belfast in 1969, I thought she hit all the right notes for that.
Do you think she deserved to be nominated for her performance? She wasn't, but...
As Best Actress?
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know enough about
the other movies that are in
movies.
there. I don't know any of the other people who are not. I don't know any of them. I just know I saw an article that was saying she was specifically not nominated and people were not happy.
Yeah. Well, I really did. I thought her performance was very good. And I agree. Jude Hill, the little kid.
Yeah.
He was good. Liked his performance. Overall, I thought the story was good. I even though this was a shorter movie, I did feel like it dragged a little for me at different points. I was like, I don't know about this shot of like rain falling on a barrel with, some cups.
They did choose like weird transition shots to be like, we got to move from one scene to another. So here's a big old helicopter view of Belfast, or here's a cliff, or here's rain pounding on a roof and rolling down. Yeah, I agree with that.
There's a lot of that, which I know you're trying to build like the environment and all that stuff, but you could have cut that out. And
they also spent like the first minute of the movie doing that too. Like it was like all these shots of Belfast and stuff.
Yes,
a modern day Belfast.
Yes. Okay, so I liked the movie. I liked the story. I liked the acting. I even liked the kind of set environment that they built. Mm-hmm. I thought it felt like I was in 1969 Belfast. As much as I can know about how that
Sure,
would feel,
yeah.
I felt like that was it. So yeah, good job. So I'm going to take a different tack than you did with
Okay.
how I decide if it should have been nominated.
Okay.
I think about some of the other movies that were nominated that we saw. Licorice Pizza,
Okay, yeah.
Dune, and King Richard
Okay.
are the 3 from the list of 10 that we saw before tonight.
Yes. I think I've seen another one, but we didn't see it together because it's on Netflix.
Oh,
Don't Look Up.
Don't Look Up. Yeah. So when I think about those movies and I think about this movie, and am I of the opinion that it's in the same class with those movies? I would say yes. I would say it's in the same class with those movies. In some cases, it outclasses those movies. Licorice Pizza.
Yeah.
But so should it be nominated, or could it have been nominated, or was it? It was nominated. What am I saying? Who am I? Where are we? Should it have been nominated? I'll say yes. Based on the other films that were nominated, I think it was of a class with them. Do I think it could win Best Picture? I don't know. Having only seen 4 of the 10,
Yeah.
it's hard to say that. It really seems like there's some other darlings in there that might pull it out. Namely, The Power of the Dog, which I want to see now because it's has so many nominations.
Yeah. Who's in that?
A few people.
Oh, I have seen that. Yes, that's on Netflix
okay.
too. Yes. Okay.
There you go.
With old Doctor Strange.
Benedict
Yeah.
Cumberbatch.
That's right. I forgot about that one.
Kirsten Dunst is in that too, right?
Yes, Kirsten Dunst, and then
She was nominated for Best Supporting Actress for that.
I don't know about that.
Wow.
I mean, I liked the movie, but it's like really one of those like very strange westerns that like.
Oh, okay.
And well, it's just like it's like one of those movies where one of the characters is like a super mean guy, and then kind of delves into why he's a mean guy and what's happened to him in the past and stuff like that. I don't know. I didn't think it was anything special, but. And this is where you and I differ when it comes to the lists and stuff like that, where you're like, because these movies were nominated, yes, this one, but I'm on the side of none of these movies should have been nominated. Right. So
no, I get you.
Maybe Dune, because like I thought Dune was still pretty good and visually very impressive.
Yeah.
Like, but you know, anyway, sorry, I cut you off.
That's all good. There. Yeah. So could it win? Yeah, it could win. Yeah. I'll just say that it could win.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any like, especially any of the movies that we haven't seen. It's hard to pick out one movie and be like, well, that's for sure not going to win because each one brings a certain like, you know, you've got the King Richard, the sports movie about troubled upbringing and all that kind of stuff that equals to success and hard work, and that that's a darling story that the Academy I'm sure loves and stuff like that. You got weird movies like. Way of the Dog, and I personally thought Don't Look Up
Power of the Dog.
Mm-hmm. And I personally thought Don't Look Up was a stupid movie. But
okay. A lot of people would disagree with you, I think.
Well, yeah, I think they would too, because everyone thought it was like, oh, it's such a smart, in-on-itself comedy and stuff like that. Like,
which brings us back to what the Academy will think.
That's true.
Smart, in-on-a comedy might take it.
Yeah, I just have a problem with, like, when that movie first dropped, like, all the buzz was, well, of course, critics and newspapers and stuff don't like it because that it's making fun of them, too. So they, but I'm like, okay, so you think everyone saw this movie that could have made fun of them? Everyone wrote a bad review because, like, their feelings were hurt? Like, come on. Not everyone. I mean, I'm sure maybe a couple of them, maybe some of them did, but... It didn't hurt my feelings. I thought it was dumb.
Okay, so fair enough. I never saw it, so
you should before the big night.
Maybe I'm dumb.
Anyway. For not seeing it.
For not seeing it. Maybe they're making fun of me. Maybe I didn't look up. Well, okay. So that's what I have to say about the movie.
So, Matt,
Yes.
how many Turkish delights would you give this movie? Obviously 0 being the worst because then you have no Turkish delight, and then 5 being the best because then you have, 5 Turkish delights to either eat all yourself or to share with friends.
Or throw on the ground, as
Apparently
happened in this
throw in the
movie.
Yeah, because apparently in this movie no one likes Turkish delight.
Yeah. Clearly, we were not in the Narnia universe.
It is honestly the first thing I thought of when they said Turkish delight.
Me too. All right. I'm going to say that I liked but did not love this movie. I'm going to say it was good but not great. And I'm going to go with 3.3 Turkish delights out of 5 is where I'm going to end up on this piece of work.
Nice. Well, I'm definitely not far off at all. I landed on my first instinct was a 3.1 based off of all, which is kind of surprising based off my review and then your review. You would think my score would be higher, but
You would think that.
not here. We throw curveballs all the time.
You would be wrong.
So yeah, I mean, I think there were some pretty good to great elements in this movie. I think, like I said, I think everyone should see it if you have a chance to see it, because why not? But honestly, I think it was your pointing out the scenic shots that really was like, oh yeah, that was really dumb. That swayed me a little bit. I might have come down a couple of 0.1 drops because of it.
A few Turkish delight morsels.
Yeah. Some crumbs.
Yes. All right. Well, that's going to wrap up this episode of Matt and Todd Go to the Movies, where we reviewed the Academy Award nominated Best Picture nominations of Belfast. And we gave it an average rating of 3.2 Turkish delights out of 5 Turkish delights. And that's decent. Todd will say, see it in the theater. I'll say, I don't know. But even though I rated it higher.
That's the kind of greatness you get from this podcast.
That's right. Solid opinions. Well, thank you all listeners for listening to the podcast. And please keep doing that. Please keep downloading. We don't make any money off this podcast, but we do have our own egos and...
Yeah, in fact, we lose money off of this podcast.
We do. We spend money to make this podcast, to bring it to you, the listeners. So we're giving you our heart and soul and hard-earned money to bring it to you.
Yeah, all these famous people that we keep messing up their names, I think they should give us $5 because we're talking about them. Spreading their famousness around the world.
Free advertising.
50 to 100 downloads at a time, depending on the week.
Yes. Well, thank you again, listeners, and we'll see you next time.
Da 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 da
Da da
da da da.
da da da.